All right, let's talk about the Oregon Ducks. Oregon right now, by pretty much acclaim, everybody agrees it because frankly, it's correct. They're the best team in college football. They're undefeated, number one Oregon Ducks. This team is looking like a legitimate, serious powerhouse to run the table this year and win it all in 2024. Dan Lanning's done a great job, but it looks like the Oregon Ducks could be poised to be making a massive move for the future as well. Nothing but great news keeps coming out of Oregon. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, like I said, the Ducks have been dominant so far this season. After a little bit of a slow start, they've been just on a train ride ever since, just blowing everyone out of the way. They look like the team to beat, not just in the new Big Ten, but in all of college football. But like all great programs, they're always keeping an eye towards the future, and it looks like the Oregon Ducks are linked to potentially a massive pickup that'll help them out in the future. And this involves one player with a potential rival at the top of the college football world. Let's pull up this report courtesy of SI.com. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian confirmed Thursday that the team has mutually parted ways with sophomore wide receiver Jonte Cook II, who arrived to Austin as a four-star prospect in the 2023 recruiting class. Though Cook II, who will obviously be entering the transfer portal at some point soon, won't be able to play the rest of the season. So again, we're thinking future here. His future destination is now something to watch, particularly as it pertains to the Ducks. Oregon was not originally in the mix when Cook announced his 7 finalists in 2021. However, the Ducks quickly swooped in and clearly made an impression on him as Cook eventually made his way to Eugene for an official visit in June of 2022. Additionally, Cook and Oregon wide receiver Evan Stewart have a friendship that dates back to their time on the Texas high school football scene. Stewart signed as a 5-star recruit in Frisco while Cook was busy winning state championships in nearby DeSoto. All right, this has sort of all of the underpinnings of a massive move by Oregon. Oregon put on a full court press, I'll say that, when they were recruiting this kid way back in the day, and it clearly impressed Cook, and it looks like he may be leaning towards Oregon, the best team in college football yet again, especially with the Stewart connection. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this potential move or potential news for the Oregon Ducks. But first, Oregon fans, in the comment section below. At this point in the season, you're 9-0, you're crushing it, you're doing a lot of things well. But what's the one thing you think Oregon needs to improve on if they're going to finish the job and win a national title? They're obviously a great team, but there's no such thing as a perfect team. Always things to clean up. Let us know in the comment section what you think Oregon needs to address over the final weeks before the college football playoff to make sure they get the job done and win a national title for the Oregon Ducks. Let us know in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news out of Eugene?
Yeah, Nick, I think if the Ducks can pull this off, which I do think they will be able to pull off this move, I think this could be huge for them going forward because we all know really great teams. We talk about, last year, the Washington Huskies. That was a team with Michael Penix, Rome Odunze, all of those great players. They were at the top of the football world. Everyone was impressed by what they can do. But where are they this year? They're not on the radar anymore. And why is that? That's because all of the talent on this team got wiped out. And when you look at Oregon, you look at their top 5 pass catchers. You look at Tez Johnson, senior. You look at Trayshawn Holden, senior. You look at Evan Stewart. I believe he'll be there for another year, but he's a junior. You look at leading tight end, Terrence Ferguson, another senior. Some of the biggest targets on this Oregon offensive side of the ball are all going to be gone in the coming year. So you really need to get guys coming in that are experienced, because you don't want just new freshmen that haven't been there, haven't played at the highest level of the college football world to be the only options that you have in the receiving game. I think a move like this can really help bring a guy who played at Texas, who played in the highest level of college football. He's been there. He knows what these big games look like. He knows what it's like to be on a big time squad. I think it's good to have that veteran nature there. So I think it's going to be a really good move if Oregon is going to be able to pull this one off. I think it could be huge for them going forward and not let this team take the inevitable dip if all of their starting top 5 receiving targets are to move on from next year. I think that would be pretty bad, but being able to do things like this helps them cement that for the future, making this team look much more dangerous next year as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. And I think it's important to understand that Dane Lanning, obviously with his connection in Georgia, he's not trying to build a program for a 1 year run like we saw last year when Kalen DeBoer's squad was with Washington, right? He's trying to build the next great college football dynasty. And after Nick Saban left Alabama, a lot of people thought, well, is it going to be Kirby Smart, Georgia with their reign of dominance, Steve Sarkisian down in Austin in the great state of Texas? Could he be a guy to lead the way? Will Ryan Day start winning some big games with Ohio State? Who is going to be the next great dynasty in college football? And right now, it's hard to bet against the Oregon Ducks because what Dan Lanning has done is an incredible job of both in game strategy, like what he did at the end of the Ohio State game, of course, got a lot of attention in terms of strategy, people running on the field, things like that, understanding the rules at the time. That's absolute genius. He's obviously a wizard in the transfer portal. We've seen that the past couple of number of years. He's great in the recruiting department as well. He's gone into a brand new conference and has just dominated it, right? That's not easy. It doesn't happen, folks. Look at USC, right? USC Trojans. They've transferred into the Big Ten and they just get mollywopped. Oregon goes into the Big Ten and you think they've been there for 30 years and they've been the top team in that conference that entire time. What Dan Lanning has done is so incredible, and it's clear what he's doing. He is trying to build the great dynasty in college football. And now, look, I'm not a big believer in East Coast, West Coast bias, but I think the Oregon Ducks fan base here, you guys got a little bit of a claim here because I don't understand why people aren't looking at Lanning in Oregon as the model program. Maybe it's because they haven't won a national title yet. Maybe if they win one this year, that'll finally end all that discussion right there. Because what they do in terms of how they execute their strategy, recruiting, transfer portal, coaching staff, everything they do leads to winning, leads to success. And I think that's why we're seeing the energy here with them potentially picking up Cook. It's just nothing but good news out of Oregon, and Dan Lanning and his staff is the reason why this Ducks team, I think, they're the best team in college football. They obviously rank #1 right now in 2024, but there's no reason they won't continue to be great in the future.